All right, so basically what we've been up to is we've been creating an application, which is the Cloudoptimizer application, and it allows you to look at all your VMs in your different clouds. So that would be Azure, AWS, and Google. And you can actually see them in one place. And what you can do then, once you can see it in one place, you can schedule these VMs for doing something. All right. So basically, the first thing we need to do is if we go to app.cloudoptimizers.io, then we get a login screen. Now you can register with an email account and a separate password, so a local account, but you can also register with one of your providers, so Facebook, Google, or Microsoft account. So I've already created a Facebook account, so I'll just log in with that. So there we go. We come into the home screen, and it says subscriptions and upcoming tasks. Well, there are none at this moment. So the first thing we need to do is add subscriptions. So I'll go to the subscription screen. And as you can see here, I have a AWS subscription with 2 instances running in it. And I have an Azure subscription, and also I have some VMs running in here. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to add these 2 subscriptions to my Cloudoptimizer subscriptions. So what I'm going to do here is select the platform. First I'm going to add Azure, and then I'll enter my tenant ID. And my tenant ID is nothing more than the directory I'm actually using. So I'll click Submit. And then immediately I'll get the login screen for that account, which I log into to Azure. So I'll select the user, which has the appropriate credentials. Click Accept so that we can create the app in your Azure directory. And what you can see now is that our Visual Studio Enterprise with MSDN has been added to our subscriptions. So the one thing we still have to do is add the offer type, because this is not, we can't retrieve this through the API, but we'll just give you a little list. All right, so we've added one subscription. I'm also going to add the AWS subscription. So that's here. It's called, we'll give it a name, AWS. And AWS doesn't work with authentication. It just uses keys and secrets, so we'll do that. We'll enter the key here. I pre-made these keys. You can create those in AWS if you're used to it. And we'll submit this as well. Now what we've done, we've added 2 subscriptions, so a Microsoft one and the Amazon AWS. So we'll go to the Scheduler tab. And now when we are in our home screen, we see that we have 2 subscriptions, but no upcoming tasks. So what we're going to do is we want to schedule our AWS machines. They're currently in a running state, and we'd like to schedule them to stop. Well, what we will do is we'll have to go to Schedule. And immediately we get a pop-up, no groups. Well, basically the way we designed the app is that you need to create groups in order to schedule your VMs. So I'll click Take Me There, and I'll create a new group. And this is in the Virtual Machine Group tab. So first I'll enter a group, and I'll do all AWS VMs. Okay. And these are all the AWS Amazon machines. And I'll select the VMs I want to add to that particular group. So basically what it's doing now, it's enumerating all the machines in that particular subscription, and I can kind of cherry pick which machine I want to add to that group. Sometimes if you have a lot of machines, it takes a little bit longer. So I'll add all these machines, all 2, which I have in that subscription. I'll save them. Now we'll create the group. And I'll close my email. And we'll see we have all AWS VMs. Now please, this is still early stages of this application, so the CSS is not all that wonderful yet in some places, but we're getting there. I'll add another group. So the group name will be all Azure VMs. We'll take that from our Azure subscription. We'll select the VMs. And we'll see we have a lot of them here. Now we'll save them. And we'll create the group. So now we have a group with Azure machines and a group with AWS machines. So now we can start scheduling these groups to switch them on or off. So today's the 13th, and I would like to switch off some AWS machines on a schedule. Well, first let's say switch I'll copy this and paste it in the description. And here's the start time, so when we want to switch it off, well, we can click that. And I want to do it a bit, maybe I want to do it in, let's do 3 minutes time, 2-3 minutes time, so that I can show you that they're actually being switched off. Reoccurrence, you could actually do daily or weekly, but I'll do none. And we'll select the groups. So we're going to do the AWS machines. So we'll click OK. And what action are we going to do? Well, we're going to turn them off. So we'll click that action, and we'll click Add. So immediately you see we have this action scheduled now, and it's going to switch off these AWS machines in a couple of minutes. Now what I'm going to show you now is that you can also do this action for resizing machines. So for example, if on the weekend I'm not using my machines that much, or I want to resize them because just to save a bit of cost, then we can do that here. And what I could do is I could enter resize all resize all Azure machines.
So we can do that.
Now we can do this on the weekend, so the 15th and 10:45. That sounds reasonable. We want to do this on a weekly schedule, and we want this occurrence never to end really. So we'll select the groups. AWS VMs, okay. And what we'll do is resize. Now we get a window, and we can resize it to any size we'd like to, but it has to stay in the same type of family, otherwise it just won't work, it won't do anything. We'll click Add. Now you see we added a schedule for resizing the machines every weekend, so that will happen on the weekend. Okay, so that's for scheduling basically. I think this one should kick off in just 1 minute's time, so we'll see that at 10:16. So first, one other thing we added is we added the Azure usage. So if we go there and we select our vendor subscription, and click Apply, then it's going to retrieve the data of how much your virtual machines have, how many resources they've been using, and actually how much you're saving by switching off your machines during certain periods of time, or actually resizing them, because then they become smaller and your billing will be less. So what you see here is the billing period from the 14th to the, for 1 day from the for 1 month from the 14th till the 13th. And you can see we're actually spending the red part, so the cost. And the green part is actually what we're saving by switching off all our VMs. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, then we can see the actual cost of the VMs which we're running here. So you get a nice overview of all the VMs you're using. We also get the highest, the most expensive instance, which you see here, and you can actually get a nice breakdown for that. Okay, so let's see if these machines have been switched off yet. Let's refresh that. And as you see here, the magic has happened and it's been switched off. Now we can validate this by going to our activity log. And we can see here that we switch off all AWS machines. And I think this one was from yesterday. I did as a, no, this one, that's correct. So at 8:16 Universal Time, it switched off both of these VMs in AWS. So you can validate if what Cloudoptimizer has been doing to your environment or to your VMs, basically, in all cases. Now, one thing I wanted to preview, and this is the instance preview, which is not functional in the online version yet, or the app.cloudoptimizers.io, which is public. So I'll show you in our development part, is the instance preview. And the idea of that is to neatly order all your different VMs in different subscriptions from different cloud providers, so that you have a nice overview of all your VMs, and that you don't have to log into all different portals every time if you want to do a restart action or a resizing action. So basically what you get here is a list of your VMs, and basically here, and this is not finished completely yet, but is you can stop, start, resize all these VMs on the fly. But you also have them here for a different subscription in AWS, and this is for Azure, obviously. Now you get a little bit of information, so OS type, SKU, and over the as we progress, so as we develop this further, you'll get more information. So that's it for now. I would encourage you to actually go to app.cloudoptimizers.io and try it for yourself. It's completely free. You know, we appreciate any type of feedback if you'd like to send that to us. And I hope this application will be useful for you. And thank you for your time, and thank you for your attention. Thanks.